Do I need to let you guys know that we have 5 scholars speaking when we get to the call to the public? Oh, wait. Hello? Okay, now I'm nervous.
They're muting themselves.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think I was muted when I was talking. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I just wanted to make sure that when you call my name, there's actually 5 of our scholars that are doing some public input.
Yes, the board is aware that once you are asked to do your public comment, that you will have a few scholars speaking, and that is completely okay.
All right, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Hi, Ms. Foster. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Foster, we are going to start in a few minutes. We're waiting for a few members to log on.
I understand. Thank you. Good morning,
you.
everybody.
Hi, Member Ruiz.
Hi, I'm logged in.
Thank you. We are waiting just a few more minutes for
Okay.
another board member to join us.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay, President Close, we have a quorum, so you can go ahead and get started. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Just give me one quick second here to I'll go ahead and call this meeting in order then. Thank you, Ashley. First of all, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll go ahead and do the roll call, and then I have a little housekeeping.
President Close,
Here,
Vice President Monteith. Here. Superintendent Designee Miller. Here. Ms. Barr. Here. Ms. Crockett.
Here.
Ms. Foster.
Here.
Mr. Ruiz.
Here.
Mr. Stratton. Mr. Swanson. With that, President Close, you have a quorum.
thank you, Ashley. So quickly, housekeeping regarding the hybrid meeting, virtual / in person. We anticipate that Member Foster and Member Ruiz will be virtual, and they are in fact virtual. Most board members are participating in person. For board members that are in person, there are microphones directly in front of you. When they are red, the mic is not live. Please click on the mic when you want to talk. The mic will turn green, and then you can speak. Once you're done speaking, please push the mic again so that it turns red. For board members participating via Zoom, please stay on mute. If you would like to speak, please push the hand icon to indicate that you would like to speak. This will help me to know you would like to say something, and then I will make sure you have an opportunity to speak. For charters or applicants on the agenda that are participating via Zoom, please stay muted until your item is called. Once your item is called, board staff will introduce the item, and then I will call on you to address the board. At that time, you may unmute yourself. For charters or applicants on the agenda participating in person, once your item is called, board staff will provide a brief introduction and answer any questions board members may have for staff. Then I will request that representatives for the charter come up to the podium to address the board. We did roll call. Anticipate roll call fulfilled. Moving on, item D, election of officers. There are two options. One of them is for one motion for each position. Is it just the two, president, vice president?
That is correct.
Or so it would be two separate motions or one motion for both positions. And as we understand it, Jessica and I understand it, we're running unopposed, so we're fine with one motion, and we'll recuse ourselves if that is the case. So who handles the meeting then? Just
At this point, we need a motion made, and then I can work you through that motion.
I'll go ahead and chair, or should I recuse completely?
It would be best for someone else to make the
I
motion.
will step back then.
I'd be happy to attempt. I move,
Like coordinate the motions. Are you gonna handle that actually? Okay.
let's see. How do we want to say that? I move that the current president and vice president of the board recuse themselves from the nomination of officers. And I would like to renominate the current board president and vice president. Does that work?
Could you please state their name in your motion?
No, I didn't. Hans Dieter Close as president and Jessica Montes for vice president. Montes.
Monteith.
You got it.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Ms. Barr,
Aye.
Dr. Crockett,
Aye.
Ms. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Ruiz,
Aye.
Superintendent Designee Miller,
Aye.
and with 5 votes and then 2 recusing themselves, the motion does pass by majority.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Jessica, thank you too. So moving on, item E, superintendent's report. Wendy,
Good morning.
good morning.
I'd like to share the following from Superintendent Tom Horn for his February report. I had the defining experience as a young man of attending the March on Washington on August 28th, 1963, and hearing Martin Luther King Jr., who dedicated his life to the nonviolent struggle for racial equality, speak in person. As we highlight Dr. King and other heroes during Black History Month, I continue to fight for and share in his dream of a day when individuals shall be judged on the content of the character and not by the color of their skin. That memorable day in 1963, he said, "Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline." Another powerful Dr. King quote that defines our work is that, quote, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." My administration at ADE is highly committed to both. On the subject of character, I would like to congratulate charter school students for winning both the kindergarten through 8th grade and the high school category in the recent ADE Character Education Arts Contest. These students received their recognition in front of a packed house at this year's annual ESSA conference with over 750 attendees. Other exciting announcements at the conference included the streamlining of the comprehensive needs assessment, freeing up time for students versus paperwork. This is aligned with the ADE mission under my leadership of being a service organization committed to raising academic outcomes and empowering parents. Thank you to Associate Superintendent of Academic Achievement, Catherine Barrett, and Director of Title I and Title II Academic Achievement, Henry Dunkerson, for helping to make these exciting changes to the CNA. My administration has also made $40 million of redirected ESSER dollars available to provide the academic tutoring, the achievement tutoring program. The program is open to any student enrolled in a public or charter school in grades K through 12, with an emphasis on those who tested below proficient in reading, writing, or math on the Arizona Academic Standards Assessment, or currently attend a labeled D or F school. The tutoring is being provided by both public school districts and charters, intended to also offer another income opportunity for Arizona teachers. The program is free to parents and students and will consist of 6-week tutoring blocks with 60-minute sessions up to 4 days per week. Students will complete a pre- and post-test to determine tutoring needs during each block. Tutoring sessions will be aligned to the Arizona standards in core subjects, and communication will occur between the parents and the tutor. If this achievement tutoring program is not offered at your school, there are over 20 authorized private tutoring providers in the state, and this information can be found by visiting the Department of Education's Achievement Tutoring page for more details. Another important reminder regarding the Arizona Holocaust and Genocide education, the Arizona Department of Education provides resources, training, and support for educators in meeting House Bill 2241, which requires students to receive instruction in the Holocaust and other genocides at least once in middle school and once in high school. Please pay special attention to these laws and please visit the ADE Arizona Holocaust and Genocide Education resource page for more information and for resources for your school. This concludes the superintendent's February report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Moving on to item F, Executive Director's Report. Ashley.
Good morning, President Close, Superintendent Designee Miller, and board members. It's so good to see you again and starting our 2024. I know we did not have a January meeting, so just glad to see all of you today. As I do every meeting, I provide you an update as to what I have signed off on as the executive director. This board has given me authority to sign off on certain amendment requests and other technical requests. So as of right now, from our December meeting, since we did not have a January meeting, I have approved 33 amendments and have not approved any Arizona Online Instruction Amendment requests. Additionally, President Close has the authority to sign voluntary surrender agreements, and he has not signed any since our last meeting. For school reviews, our staff has completed one first-year review in the months of December and January, 14 interval reviews, and 1 renewal. And for school visits completed, for specialized accountability, we have done 28. Yep, so quite a bit. And those specialized accountability, everyone looks completely different. Those are our visits that can be paper via communication, or it could be also going to the site and actually reviewing and working alongside that school. Okay. Any questions with those? Okay. I do want to introduce you to one of our new staff members. We have actually 2 new staff members that we have not introduced you to yet. And this team makes up our Northern Arizona team. This team is especially situated so they can really help the schools in the northern metropolitan Phoenix area. North of the metropolitan Phoenix area. And so we're really excited about this. This has been something that we've been really working on as we saw a huge success with our Tucson team. So I am going to introduce you to Jordan, and he's going to come up and introduce himself as well. But Jordan is one of our education program managers that just started.
Good morning, Board President Close, Superintendent Designee Miller, and other board members. My name is Jordan Swenson, and I recently joined the Arizona State Board for Charter Schools as an education program manager. Specifically, as a resident of Flagstaff, I'm the point of contact for charter schools in Northern Arizona. My role is to assist them with board and state obligations and to help ensure that they're providing quality education to the children of our communities. I was born and raised in Arizona, and I received my education here, first in charter schools and then at ASU for both my bachelor's and master's degrees. The majority of my work experience is in classroom education. I serve both down here in the Valley and up in Flagstaff within the public district school system. And additionally, while I was at university, I worked at a charter school down here in the Valley. Both offer unique perspectives on the needs of Arizona children in order to become leaders and contributing citizens of our state. Much of my time has been spent building strong relationships with faculty, parents, and students. And this is an asset when creating the same types of robust relationships with our charter schools. Aside from this, one of the greatest skills I think that I learned while working in education was that of patience. Whether you're assisting charter schools with compliance or trying to minimize interruptions throughout the school day as you're doing site visits, or in preparing documentation for when charters come before this board, it seems patience will continue to serve me well. I look forward with anticipation and excitement to gain even more insight into my role and to become an integral part of executing this agency's goals. And that includes assisting to fulfill the agency mission to improve public education in Arizona by sponsoring charter schools with quality educational choices. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
And in addition to Jordan, we also have Regan, and she is our education program specialist that just started with us, and she will also be serving that Northern Arizona region. So Jordan and her will act as a team, but unfortunately Regan is not feeling well, so she's not here today, but she will be here next meeting to introduce herself to you. And with that, President Close, I have nothing else to report.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Okay, moving on, call to the public. So we did receive one request to speak from Chris Barton. Chris is on Zoom. It's related to item I, but if Mr. Barton is available,
Can you
you
hear
may
me?
unmute yourself and speak at this time.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. With me here, I
Morning.
have actually 5 scholars that would like to go ahead and give some public input on one of your agenda items today related to Desert Star Academy. So I will turn it over to our scholars.
Good morning. My name is Cadence Johnson, and I believe that Desert Star Academy should have a high school. There are many great things about Desert Star that I believe could continue with the building and creating of a high school. For example, our academics. For a charter school, our testing scores are decently good, and I believe with the high school, they could continue to grow. as most of us are starting college classes and are gaining more knowledge. Another reason I believe Desert Star Academy should get a high school is student involvement. I know a lot of 8th graders and freshmen from other high schools that are going to DSHS, and many of them are extremely involved with the school, such as food drives and park cleanups and other events that we put on. I go to these things and I see a bunch of our students being very scholarly and very involved with the event. The third reason there should be a DSHS is because of the extracurriculars. We have many scholars with varying personalities, which is why we have many extracurriculars, such as drama, choir, athletics, robotics, and a lot more. With DSHS, there will be more availability for more extracurricular activities for those like me who are extremely involved in their school. As the school continues to grow with more students coming in, a high school is widely requested by the students and their parents. DSHS would be the perfect option for these students. So will you allow it to be? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. It's a little bit hard for us to hear you. Would you be able to move up a little bit closer, maybe closer to the computer? I don't want to, or to speak up a little bit louder. We want to make sure we hear everything that you say.
Hi. That's better. Is it good? Can you
That
hear
it sounds better. Yes.
her? Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Malaya Adams from Desert Star Middle School. I believe that we need a high school because of the people here. When I was homeschooled, I was like very like introverted at first, and when I came here, I was very scared of the teachers, of the children, of the people here. I was just uncomfortable, but Desert Star has really helped me grow in that way. I've become better with social interactions and many other things. So just like drama, and I would like to continue drama with Mr. Michelle. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, good morning. My name is Justin Robinson, and I've been attending Desert Star Academy since I would say 2nd grade. And watching the school evolve to a middle school has actually made a really big impact on me, and as well as my other scholar friends. Because one thing I like about Desert Star Academy is that they're not like other schools where you're put up against a challenge. There's a lot of discipline. With the teachers here, you also get discipline, but you're learning to be a scholar, as well as they offer a lot of extracurricular programs like she said, drama, athletics, and a lot of programs like Scholar Counselor and JHS, which I'm really involved in as well. And that's just helped me grow as a person, because when I was just like a plain old 6th grader, I didn't care about my grades. I didn't want to do anything really, but they helped me grow. For example, I struggled a lot with my education during the pandemic in 5th grade, and I had D's and F's, and I just wasn't feeling it. But as soon as the school started to grow and I got moved to 6B, a lot of teachers helped me grow as a person, and my education grew a lot. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jake Barabino, and I've been attending Desert Star for the past several years, which has been the best decision of my life, because in my old school, the education there was not the best, and I was barely learning anything. This school has supported me and helped me become a disciplined and good citizen of America. And I believe that with the high school coming for Desert Star Academy, it'll help me grow more and have me have a good education for my future. The programs here are also good because it helps me be more involved with my school. For example, theater run by Mr. Michelle, and athletics run by many coaches. The school has a lot to offer and has helped many students and show them that they have opportunities that they can all be a part of. And then they have teachers who care about the students, make sure that they're healthy, and that they don't have any issues at home. They make sure that they can go to school, feel safe, and they don't have to be afraid of anyone. The school has supported many students, made them from troublemakers to smart children who have been who will have a bright future. Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry. My name is Faith Parenti and I'm 14 years old and I've been going to this school since fourth grade. This school has helped like a lot, and even like through the pandemic, like COVID, it's been a rough time at that time because I was struggling with like D's and F's, and that was not the best for me. But my teachers, like, and sorry, I'm saying like and a lot. My teachers helped me like a lot because they offered me programs like lunch or like after school to help me like better my grades, you know? And you know, I think the high I think the high school would be like a good idea because the school has already done so much for me and like my peers and other scholars that I just like I love to watch it grow. And then I know there's gonna be more programs, hopefully. And yeah, sorry, I can't remember my speech a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. That includes our public comment here from Desert Star Academy.
Thank you. Personally, I just like to say that I always enjoy hearing directly from the students that are at the schools, the subject schools. And I also know that it was probably difficult for you all to get up and speak in front of a group, whether virtually or not. So you did a good job. Appreciated it. Communicated a lot of good information. Thank you. And I believe that's it for a call to the public. Nothing else. So we'll move on to the next item, consent agenda, item H.
This is Jessica. I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Crockett. Go ahead and take the vote, please.
Vice President Montiers,
Aye.
Superintendent Designee Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Barr,
Aye.
Dr. Crockett,
Aye.
Ms. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Ruiz, Mr. Ruiz,
He held up a thumbs up.
Sorry,
Oh,
I was.
sorry,
my
we couldn't
mouse-
see you.
I was having difficulty with my mouse unmuting, but aye.
We knew you were there. Thank you. Appreciate it. President Close,
Aye.
motion passes.
All right. Moving on to item I, charter amendment discussion, possible action on a grade level change amendment request from Desert Star Academy, presentation by Shannon.
Good morning. President Close, Superintendent Designee Miller, and members of the board. Desert Star Academy, Inc. has submitted an amendment request to increase the grades served from K-8 to K-12 for fiscal year 2025. The charter holder is requesting the grade level increase to provide an additional option of a traditional high school in the community and to meet the request of parents to offer the additional grades. The charter holder does not meet the staff recommendation criteria because current enrollment does not have students enrolled currently to fill the requested grades, specifically in the 10th and 11th grades in the first year. And I am available for questions if you have any.
I have I'm so
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I have a quick question, and I don't know if this would be better addressed to them or not, but from what I'm seeing, they're also planning on opening a privately funded ESA high school this fall. Is this in conjunction with that or? Okay, thank you. I'll wait.
All right. Is there any more questions?
A quick question, Ms. Black. The on this particular element on the recommendation, do we factor in potential? Like, do they have no? So we're just going to look at their current numbers and
Correct. We look at their current enrollment. So they currently have enough students enrolled in 8th grade to fill the ninth grade cohort. But because they do not currently have the ninth grade to fill the 10th and the 10th to fill the 11th, they can't meet that criteria as it currently exists.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So it stated in the materials that we received that the most, well, closest high school has a wait list. Do we happen to, is that something that you can answer or should I ask?
The closest charter high school
Yes.
has a wait list.
Okay.
Yes.
And do we know in what grades?
I do not know off the top of my head. This is based on the narrative.
Okay.
But they did specifically mention the high school in that network,
Right.
which, as I recall, that campus I believe is an 812.
Okay.
Um,
So that would be probably a question that's better asked.
mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? If not, is it, oh,
Wait.
Mr. Ruiz. Saw you.
Yeah, okay. So when we're approving a high school, we're just approving all grades. It can't be something where we did this in Tanca Verde. We created a high school and we opened up the first ninth, or there already was a ninth grade. So we did a 10th grade in 1 year. And then and after that, we did an 11th grade the next, and then by year 3, you had your first senior class. And so then it just kind of grew, it kind of just grew year after year until you had the full, complement of grade levels. So is that how this is going to work, or we're just saying you get all 4 grade levels?
Member Ruiz and board members, the board has the ability to make the motion and make the approval in the manner in which it deems is most appropriate. At this time, the charter holder has requested the full K-12 for their approval. Their proposal includes starting with K-11 next year and then growing to K-12 in the following year. The board has the ability to approve it as requested or make a motion that would amend those grades to what it feels would be appropriate in its motion. So that would be at your discretion. And there is optional motion language written for you to make either decision.
And President Close, if I may just add to what Rachel indicated, maybe providing some additional clarification for you, Mr. Ruiz. The charter right now is only asking for those grade level changes, right? They're not asking for a new school here for that high school grade levels. It is just adding grades to the existing school that it has.
Right. Yep, go ahead. Mr. Ruiz.
Sorry, I have one more question. So what is the risk of just saying, go ahead and have the 11, 12 and not having enough students to do a 12th grade? I'm just, I know we have alternate language, but what is the risk of having all of the, approving it as written or as requested, and there not being enough students to do a 12th grade?
Member Ruiz, if I am understanding your question correctly, is this regarding the recommendation criteria and the ability to fulfill those? I
guess what's the risk of having a school that the board has allowed a 12th grade, but there's not enough students to fill a 12th grade?
Yeah. Yeah, so member Ruiz and board members, that is the risk that the school takes on, right? When they make that determination. We do know that when schools submit their amendment request to us, that they have done their due diligence, that they have really taken a thoughtful approach as to wanting these additional grade levels. So the risk is that, yeah, they may have smaller classroom sizes in those upper grade levels, and it may be a financial risk. But we do have processes in place that if we do start seeing red flags down the road, that we would be able to step in and really help the schools to identify where there could be improvement. But I would say that for the most part, the schools that are coming in front of you for a request for an amendment, such as additional grade levels, they have done their research. They know what their community looks like. They know that that this is feasible because they know that there's a lot of risk for them moving into this.
Okay.
I would also add, Member Ruiz and board members, that they are only projecting to have, sorry, I'm looking out of the side of my head here. 79th graders in year one, only 10 10th graders and 5 11th graders. So it is important to note that they are projecting very small numbers in that 10th and 11th grade. I think it's always important to also note that in their staffing, they're looking to have kind of, and high school staffing always works a little strangely with our staffing chart. Something we're looking at in our amendment revisions, but they're looking to have 2 teachers of 9th grade, 1 10th, 1 11th. I would venture to guess that looks more like, 2 math teachers and an ELA and a science social studies, something along those lines. So it does look like they've kind of accounted for those numbers as they're considering their staffing model, which is always something I think when you ask about risk, it's what does that do to your staffing and being able to retain your model? It looks like they've adjusted for that. Maybe a question to ask them of what they're going to do if that changes.
All right, Mr. Ruiz. Okay. You know what? I have a question. I can't seem to open my executive summary here, but I'll just ask it and it should be pretty quick. So this is in Fort Mojave, right? And how many charters are there in the surrounding area?
According to our staffing chart, there is 1 charter school, which is an A school within 5 miles and 0 within 2 miles.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. I don't know if maybe my hands aren't warm enough to open the hyperlinks. I don't know. I was able to open the appendix, but anyway. Okay, I just want to know that. Thank you. Any other questions? If not, is there a representative from the charter? You go ahead and come forward.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good
Who's-
morning. I am Margie Montgomery and I am with you remotely. I am the founder of the school and also the charter representative. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I am disappointed that I can't be there with you in person, but I do have our Associate Director, Deanna Osuna, and Mr. Jesus Osuna, our principal, that is there with you also. The 3 of us can answer any questions that you do have. We are a 10-year charter school. We have been we started K-6, expanded to K-8, and now we are requesting a K-12 charter school to meet several demands and requests that we've had from our parents to become a charter school within the area. We opened in 2014, 10 years ago, with 62 scholars, and we are currently serving 514 scholars in grades K through 8. And we have 62 scholars right now on a wait list once we're hoping to get the charter approved for our high school. I'd like to just address a couple of questions that you had. And the first one in terms of the grades that we would like to serve. We have done our research, as Ashley had mentioned, and we anticipate around 70 scholars for our freshman year, significantly lower 10th graders, simply because once scholars are entered into a high school, it is sometimes difficult for them to change schools once they've adjusted, they've made new friends, and they've made connections. So we did keep that in mind as far as not having a large sophomore population. We did want to include a few juniors simply because we do have the instructors that can adjust to teach the curriculum and the required standards required of the junior class. And we've had a handful of juniors that have gone on to other high schools in the area and would really like to come back. So we did include them in our enrollment for next year. We have spoken to Cognia, and as soon as we can get approved through the charter board for a high school, we would also like to become accredited through Cognia. That is a 2-year process. So we proposed only in the first year to accept scholars in 9th through 11th grade, so that when the 11th graders are seniors, they will be graduating from an accredited high school. We know that it is really important to move on to universities, into the military from an accredited high school. So we were really thinking of the success of our scholars and being able to offer them a full program to which they can move on and be very successful with their future endeavors. I would also like to comment on the question that you had regarding other schools in the area. There is one other, actually there's 2 charter school high schools. One school is about 23 miles from us, located in Bullhead City, and they are currently a K-8, a K-12 school. We also have an alternative charter school that is 9 through 12 in our area. The alternative school, I am not sure if they were at capacity, but the charter school that's 23 miles away in Bullhead City is a K-12, and we have heard and called that they are at capacity and have a wait list for their high school. So there is definitely a need in our area based upon what our parents are requesting, and we would be the only charter school in the Fort Mojave Valley area that is a traditional school. At this time, I'd like to allow Mr. Osuna to speak, and Mrs. Osuna to further explain to you some of our curriculum and other programs we plan to offer.
Thank you, President, Vice President, and members of the board for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Jesus Osuna. I am currently the assistant principal at the middle school, Desert Star, and hopefully the future high school principal as well. I just want to start off by saying again, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be here. As you can tell by the scholars that spoke earlier today, that's the reason that we're here, them and their parents. When we started to, put this together for a high school, the demand and the excitement that the scholars had for a high school was amazing. It made me feel a lot better about, asking, moving forward with the high school for sure. Out of our class of about 72 eighth graders, about 52 already have shown interest or pre-registration for that, almost a 75%. Of those scholars, want to move on with their education at Desert Star Academy, which is really encouraging. They want to continue to experience that education that we've been provided, as the scholars have said, through amazing certified teachers, through individualized instruction. We have a great athletics department that our scholars are really excited to be a part of, as well as some fine arts programs that through culinary and theater, academic, again, fine arts, drama, choir, our scholars are just really excited to continue to have those opportunities with it. To continue to the high school, we want to make sure we provide those academic pathways for every single one of our scholars, whether that be through a pathway to go into a 4-year university, to go through a community college, to go through the military, or to get certification and join the workforce right away. Again, we will do this by a commitment by our certified teachers, with partnerships already started through Mojave Community College. We've already set up some partnerships with them where we can have our scholars take classes for career and technical education classes at MCC, either in person or virtually, as well as working with a WAVE JTED, which is in our area and already works with some MCC and other schools in our area as well. Like Ms. Montgomery mentioned, the Cognia certification is a big deal for us. We want to make sure we've already started the process to go through that, to make sure that we can provide that certification and get our high school and our senior scholars, when we get there, so that they can have that proper certification and continue on to a college, university, military, or things of that nature. We're looking forward to providing an amazing high school experience for each one of our scholars, and making sure that they have everything that they need to be successful post-graduation. Thank you.
And my name is Deanna Osuna. I am the elementary principal as well as the associate director with Miss Montgomery. Like Mr. Osuna said, we have correlations with the MCC campus and have been working with the college and career readiness program back and forth between, and had lots of meetings with them, and everybody's excited to get them going. When the kids were on the screen, they say it best. They're probably the easier ones for me to talk to. But they're excited and thrilled. We did surveys last year with and what we mentioned with the 10th graders, we have 10. As soon as this rolls out, hopefully, the 10th graders, we have a long list of kids that are ready, scholars ready to come back to our school and get on board with what we have to offer. Our counseling, we have a counselor on site that works with our scholars, actually a female and male, and they're amazing. They do academic counseling as well as the psychological, emotional, social. We are thriving in the drama and the arts. So when that senior year is why we're asking for the senior, when that rolls out, we want to do the art still on our diplomas and all the good things that we know, like our charters have a specialty, and ours is theater and the arts. So big things, excited, fun and excitement, sports, athletics, all the high school. We want to bring it for them to have their fun high school experience. No, anything else? Any other questions? Ask there any questions?
I have a question. So it sounds like you've been doing a lot of great preparation for this, but I do want to ask about your 8th grade class numbers. You said 72, I think.
Yes.
So
Correct.
over the last 4 years, has it been roughly 70 or more or less? Can you talk about that? The growth in enrollment over the 4 years in 8th
Over
grade?
in 8th grade, we have, when our 8th graders were in the 5th grade, I don't have the matrix right in front of me, but we were about 60 scholars when our 8th grade was in 5th grade. We tended to lose a few of our scholars from the 5th grade to the 6th grade. And so I believe when these 6th graders came in, we were right at about 55 or 56. We have a very simple campus, and it's just basically our junior high is just a one building campus. And we did lose, and we didn't have a full-on gym. So from 5th grade to junior high, we lost some scholars because we don't have a traditional gym as the district school in our area. However, we are now building a gym, and we have hired some great coaches that would fill the lack that we had in athletics. Our area is incredibly strong for athletics. Our parents and our scholars are very focused on athletics, and that was a weakness that we had. We are an A school as far as the academics go and offer a lot in the way of the arts. So from there, we would always lose. In 6th grade, we had the scholars were about 50, and we've consistently grown to now have a class of 70. I believe our class of 8th graders is 71. Our area typically waits until the last minute to enroll. So for us to have already 62 scholars that are on a waiting list for us to get approved for the high school is really quite amazing for our community, and gives us a lot of excitement that we will open the school with 75 or more. We are prepared and have names and contacts if we need to hire more teachers to fulfill those extra grade levels, not grade levels, but the extra scholars in each grade, that we are able to do so.
I will say also that our elementary school has gone from 2 classes in each cohort to 3. So we've already grown into our elementary, which feeds into the middle school. So right away, we add 24 scholars.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'd like to follow up the question I had earlier. According to your website, you guys are opening a private ESA funded high school, opening in fall of 2024. So do you plan on running 2 concurrent high schools? Are you gonna, if you open the new one in 2025, are you gonna be taking students from that one? Seems like you're competing against yourself.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so our goal is to be a full charter school. The private school portion of that was basically our backup plan.
Plan
If absolutely nothing failed
Yeah.
in there, but no, our focus is on being a charter school and following up those grades in that regard. We have a lot of commitment from our parents, and they wanted to see that we had something working in case something didn't work out.
So you're
Also,
saying if this is approved, then the private school is off the board?
absolutely 100%. We are committed to the Arizona State Board for Charter Schools. We're incredibly happy to be a member of the charter board. And we are excited to continue to offer the program that we have. The standards we feel and the expectations through the Arizona State Board for Charter School only makes us better and makes our program stronger to offer to the scholars in our community.
So what's the plan for the students who are enrolling for fall of 2024? Because it says it's for 9th and 10th grade. If we do approve this extension of your charter, are you just going to tell them, oh, we're so sorry, you don't have a school to go to next year or in this fall? I'm just concerned that there's going to be a population of students signing up for this who are going to be left holding the bag without a high school to go to come this fall.
The scholars that we have currently, we've not enrolled any scholars at all. These scholars are on a waiting list. We anticipated being able to, this was back in November, December, we anticipated being able to come to the January meeting, and we were not able to, there was not a January meeting, so we rolled it all into February. All of our scholars who are on the wait list are under the impression that we will be able to get approved for a charter high school and are happy and excited to be a part of that. So they would just roll, those numbers would roll directly into our high school and the private school. The thought of that would just go away. We just had put it on to our website that if we did not become a charter school, that private school would be an alternative, because the parents really needed a commitment from us that the one way or another we would be offering a school for their scholars to attend.
And I understand that, and as a parent myself, I appreciate that very much. I'm just worried that there's information out available for parents because it says opening fall of 2024. But please correct me if I'm reading this incorrectly. This expansion through grade 11 is starting in next fall in 2025. Am I reading that correctly?
No,
This
it's
fall.
fiscal year 25,
Oh,
which would
my
be fall of
apologies.
24. You're good.
Okay. Okay. That's where I was confused.
No, we currently are our charter K-8, and we are very happy and excited, and we are very much anticipating and hoping that we will be able to be approved today through your board to be able to offer an outstanding K-12 Arizona State charter school.
I just, like I said, I got the fiscal year and one says fiscal year and one's not. That's where I was confused, but that answered my question.
That is our apologies if we have misrepresented the numbers. So I do apologize for that.
Okay, any other questions?
This is Christina Foster. I had a quick clarification question continuing on that line. So those who are enrolled in the potential private, do they go through 9 through 12, or is it just 9 and 10? And then in light of that, if we modify the application request to only do 9 and 10, how many or what will be the impact for the 11th and 12th graders?
The impact would be that I believe currently our 11th graders, we have 4 to 7 11th graders that will be 11th graders in the 24-25 school year. So if we're not able to offer that 11th grade, they would just be required to stay at home and attend this high school where they are, or they would have the opportunity to go to. There is another private school in our area. They're just very disappointed with the public schools. If you would approve that 9th through 12th grade starting next year, we could very much accommodate those 12th graders. We were just worried that when they were seniors, we would not be able to be accredited, and that would be a disappointment to them or limit their opportunities after high school. However, we do have certified teachers that are qualified to teach in 9th through 12th grade. There would be a very, very small, I would anticipate a very small amount of scholars that would enroll in the 12th grade. But at this time and moving into the February, March year of recruiting and hiring teachers, we would be able to financially and academically meet those needs.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have been working for the last 2 years preparing for a high school so that we could offer the best program possible. And we hired a few of our high school teachers that will be rolling over to the high school next year. We hired them, as well as hiring Mr. Osuna, so that they could spend a year at our school to understand our unique culture, what our expectations are, and really understand the parents and the scholars that will be making up our school family.
Thank you for that comment. Miss Miller again.
Thank you, President Close. Some great information. Thank you for being here today and with us remotely. I had a couple of questions. One, I see a trend at the elementary level of C to B performance, and congratulations this year on your A. Is there something that you specifically accredit that to? Were there changes made? What do you think pushed you over into the A?
A lot of hard work with my staff. It credits the teachers. They worked really hard. We had a multi-tiered system, working with individualized instruction, pulling small group expectations of the scholars, and they rose to the occasion. So it's a lot of hard work, but proud they did it.
It's quite an
I would also like to add to that. As I was reviewing our data and our school letter grades results, I saw that we definitely had a need, and we were lacking a leader that had the ability to lead a staff, that had the ability to make curriculum adjustments. And so I went out and looked for Mrs. Osuna to come to us, because she had qualities in curriculum. She had qualities in understanding that we needed small group instruction and we needed a data-driven staff. We had several teachers that were not performing to the expectations that Desert Star had expected. So she was able to come in. We were able to hire new teachers that were qualified, that were outstanding in small group instruction, and her responsibility for the entire year was to not only lead the staff, but to be in the classroom, educating teachers, monitoring, mentoring teachers, modeling, and really being focused and consistent in the classroom to focus on the small group instruction. She did that last year, which absolutely resulted in us having an A school. Next year, her responsibility is going to be to work with the middle school teachers and the middle school staff so that their curriculum and their program of instruction would focus a little bit more so on the small group and serving those scholars who were missing and have learning gaps based on data, based on test results, based on formal and informal assessments within the classroom. So we did I analyzed and we did a lot of staffing changes to make our school better and to continue on the expectations so that we will be an A school going forward.
Thank you, and congratulations in your first year principal. On the staffing subject, being even in central area, it's a challenge. So I heard that you guys have made some staffing changes. Obviously, I read through the hiring plan, but if y'all wouldn't mind speaking to that a little, being in a remote area and trying to staff not only for your continued success academically in your elementary, but also for this expansion.
Well, I will speak. Part of the part of the opportunity to get to, to work at the middle school this year, I would say that it showed me the culture that was built within the school, that was built, even prior to where this was my first year working at the middle school. And there, I have a 10-year experience working at a district public school, 2 of those years as an assistant principal. And again, I'm very thankful to Miss Montgomery for giving me the opportunity to come in a year early and start to learn the culture from it. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of it has to do with the leadership at our school. We're thankful that both Ms. Osuna and I have built relationships with other teachers in the area. We worked in other schools in the district, high schools, elementaries, middle school, junior high for me. And we and they work with us. And they know that, the leadership at our school and through that relationships, a lot of them have reached out to us and be like, hey, we're looking for a different opportunity. We're looking to, try something new. And that's been able to help us with our staffing. As of this moment, like I said, I can open my email box and I'll have a couple of resumes and things that we can look to. So we're really happy that we have that opportunity and that we're able to provide not only amazing education for our scholars, but our teachers are very happy to work there and continue to seek us.
Thank you. Thank you for that additional information.
Thank you. Any other questions? If there are none, any comments, are we ready for a motion?
I think I am. So I move based on the information contained in the board. Oh, this is Jessica. Sorry, forgot that part. I move based on the information contained in the board materials and presented today to approve the request to increase the grade level served for the contract of Desert Star Academy, Inc. from grades K-8 to grades K-12, specifically grades K-10 in fiscal year 2025, K-11 in fiscal year 2026, and K-12 in fiscal year 2027 and beyond. The reason I am making this motion is because I would like to see the accreditation go through, and it looks like you have the numbers for K-10 for sure. So want to see what you have to do. It sounds really great, and we're pretty excited about this.
Thank you, Jessica. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
There is a second. This is
Second by
Carol
Dr.
Crockett. I'm
Crockett.
very happy to second this motion.
This is exciting. All right, Ashley, please take the vote.
Vice President Montiers,
Aye.
Superintendent Designee Miller.
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry about that. Ms. Barr, you said aye. Dr. Crockett.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
I would like to first say to the students, congratulations. You guys did a wonderful job, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future. And aye for the response.
Mr. Ruiz.
Aye.
President Close.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations
Thank
and
you.
best of luck.
Thank you so very much. Enjoy your day.
Thanks, you too. All right. I is done. Moving on to item J, financial performance framework. Andrea.
Good morning, President Close, Superintendent Designee Miller, and members of the board. In August 2023, the board established the Financial Performance Framework Subcommittee to evaluate the board's current financial framework, focusing on the measures, measure targets, and measure calculations. The subcommittee was directed to provide a recommendation to the full board. Between October 2023 and January 2024, the subcommittee held 4 public meetings and solicited feedback from stakeholders. As part of its deliberations, along with stakeholder feedback, the subcommittee considered data and lessons learned from the fiscal years 2019 through 2022 audit cycles. Numerous charters participated in the subcommittee meetings or viewed the posted meeting recordings. Throughout this process, the subcommittee was advised by a panel of 3 outside experts in charter school accounting, auditing, and finance. As you may recall, in September 2023, the Arizona Auditor General issued its performance audit and sunset review of the board. The sunset audit included 1 finding, which pertained to the financial framework. The finding had 5 recommendations. As part of its work, the subcommittee considered 2 of these recommendations. At its meeting on January 4th, 2024, the subcommittee finalized its recommendation to the full board regarding changes to the financial framework and the schedule for implementing these changes. Following that meeting, the recommendation was released for public comment. During that first opportunity for public comment, which closed on January 29th, the board received comments from 2 stakeholders. The written comments and staff's analysis may be found in Appendix B of the meeting materials. Today's meeting provides a second opportunity for public comment required under the board's procedures. While updating various help documents and other resources to reflect the subcommittee's recommendation, staff identified certain items that they believe should be clarified to avoid possible confusion. The specific changes made by staff may be found in the table on page 2 of the meeting materials. Under the subcommittee's recommendation, 2 calculations are now used to determine charter holders' performance on the adjusted net income measure and the average daily membership measure. To avoid possible confusion, staff modified language in the subcommittee's recommendation to clarify the measure rating if a charter holder's performance under one of the calculations falls into one rating level and its performance under the other calculations falls into a different rating level. I am prepared to walk through all the changes made by the subcommittee if you would like. Otherwise, I'm available for questions.
Any questions from the board? Is there a preference? You want to go through all of the changes, or are you comfortable? Looks like we're comfortable with the recommendations. Any other questions then? No?
I would like to make comment. If
Go ahead.
that's, yeah, thank you so much. So I wanted to say thank you to Andrea, whose work was invaluable to I had the opportunity of chairing this subcommittee work. It has been a true joy, and we could not have come to this outcome without her very hard work and support and talent, for that matter. I'd also like to thank our other subcommittee members, Member Jim Swanson, Member Carlos Ruiz, and Member Tim Stratton for their time and effort. I think the outcome and the recommendation that sits before you today is a very good balance, taking into consideration everything that the Sunset Review asked us to consider, maintaining the fidelity of the things that were working well, and adding some flexibility that we've heard from the charter community is very well received. So thank you.
And I would just like to note that you use the words joy with financial framework. So that's meaningful. Thank you.
She was really just talking about Andrea, wasn't actually financial framework.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, is there a motion?
I'll start with my name this time. This is Jessica. I move to adopt the Financial Framework Subcommittee's recommended changes to the board's financial performance framework measures, measure targets, and measure ratings, and the recommended implementation schedule as found in the board materials and presented today. I further move to direct staff to make any necessary changes to other relevant documents to reflect the board's actions at this meeting.
There was a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second, Carol Crockett.
Second by Dr. Crockett. Hearing no additional discussion, go ahead, Ashley.
Vice President Montier.
Aye.
Superintendent Designee Miller.
Aye.
Ms. Barr.
Aye.
Dr. Crockett.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Mr. Ruiz.
And I'd like to say Superintendent Designee Miller did a great job of chairing this committee. It was some of the I guess the topics that we went through, actually had a considerable amount of weight, I think, across the portfolio of charter schools. And I think we did a really good job and she did a good job of balancing the needs of charter holders across the entire portfolio, so that we have the financial fidelity, I guess, without, but also giving some flexibility across the portfolio. So it was kind of fun. I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Member Ruiz, was that an aye?
I just want to make
Yes,
sure
that
I
was
got
an
that
aye.
correct. I'm
That was
sorry.
an aye. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And President Close.
I just want to say thank you to all the members of the subcommittee for all your hard work, and aye.
Thank you, members. With that, the motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, moving on. So am I reading this right? Item K. Are we on? Item new charter application for schools opening in 2025, 2026. Rachel.
President Close, Superintendent Designee Miller, and board members. As part of the new charter application process, staff updates the application for a new charter and instructions to reflect the upcoming cycle each year. This year's proposed revisions include technical changes to provide clarity and transparency to the instructions. Additionally, due dates have been updated to reflect the new calendar year, and standards have been adjusted in the curricular documents, as is done each year. The other addition that was made was that a support section was added, which provides information about the training and opportunities to receive technical assistance from board staff. It should be noted that the Auditor General recommended a review of the fees as part of its sunset audit recommendation. The board's newly adopted policy, based on that recommendation, states that this review will officially occur this summer for fiscal year 2025. However, board staff did conduct a preliminary review for this cycle by gathering feedback from authorizers across the country regarding their practices and fees. The preliminary review did not indicate a need to update the fee at this time, but staff will conduct the full review, as is stated in our policy, and may bring a different recommendation with the application to be considered for the next cycle, so the one you will approve next year. All proposed changes before you today apply to both the new charter application for traditional schools and the new charter application for applicants with an Arizona online instruction program. I'm available for questions if you have any.
Any questions? Doesn't look like we have any questions. So is there a motion?
This is Jessica. I move that the board adopt the revisions to the new charter application for the 2024 application cycle for charters opening in fiscal year 2026 and beyond as presented to the board today and found in the materials for today's board meeting, and direct staff to make necessary technical and formatting changes to the documentation to reflect the board's action at this meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by
Carol
Dr. Crockett. Ashley, please take the vote.
Vice President Montier,
Aye.
Superintendent Designee Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Barr,
Aye.
Dr. Crockett,
Aye.
Ms. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Ruiz,
Aye.
President Close,
Aye.
motion passes.
Very good. And so we'll move on to item L, summary of current events, future meeting dates, and items for future agendas. Anything, Ashley?
The next board meeting is on March 11th, and that is all I have to report for this item.
Can I ask a quick question? I may have missed my window, so if it cannot be asked and answered now, then maybe we could put it on next agenda. But since it ties back to executive director report, maybe I wasn't quite awake enough in the intro. You mentioned the specialized accountability reviews. I just wasn't familiar with those or what triggers those. Would this be an okay time to ask that and get a little more info on those?
I'd be happy to, it would not be appropriate to have that discussion right now in this agenda item, but I'd be happy to put it on the next agenda to have that discussion. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you want some reading material beforehand that we can review as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else? Not? If not, then we will go ahead and hearing no objection, I will adjourn this meeting.
Thank you. You guys have a great one. Bye-bye.